All right, since we're out here in Oregon Trail country, we're going to look at clearing the DNS cache. Well, we talked about a cache before as far as the processor. It has an L1, an L2, and L3. So what a cache is for is storing information should we need it a little bit later. So caching is part of how they did the Oregon Trail. People would go ahead on the Oregon Trail and leave caches of food, water, supplies. And then as the people were traipsing across, if they needed something, they would pick it up from that cache. Same thing. Oregon Trail is how computers work, right? Yeah. So let's go and take a look at this lab so we can talk about DNS. So do you know what DNS does? If you ping google.com, it comes back with numbers, and these numbers should look a little familiar right now. What kind of a number is this? It looks a lot like this, doesn't it? Different numbers, but it's the same pattern. So computers communicate by numbers. So that's an IP address. We like to use names. Which of these is easier to remember? Well, Hope is going to say, I like the numbers better, 142.250.69. No, you don't? Okay, so google.com is easier. So when you ping or go to a website or whatever you're doing when you're trying to navigate someplace, say I'm going to the WNCC homepage, WNCC edu is not really where I'm going. I'm going to the IP address that this is being resolved to. So there's something called a DNS server that provides that information. When we were looking through our IP settings before, we have DNS servers. When I try to get to something by name, the DNS server says, oh, well, you really want to go to 142. Whatever. So this guy provides the DNS service, domain name service. It looks up domain names and returns an IP address so we can actually get to it, because computers like numbers. We like words. So this provides that service. You just don't see it happening. It's all transparent, happens in the background. Well, let's see what Cengage has to say about this. So in the normal course of a day with your phone, with your tablet, with your computer, with your laptop, whatever it is, you're going to be going to a lot of websites. And in my case, I go to wncc.blackboard.com actually quite a bit, because that's where a lot of my work is. So would it make sense that each time I go to this website, my computer would have to talk to a DNS server and have all that stuff, look it up again and again and again? No. It gets cached on our local computer. It's still loading.
Yeah, it might take a minute too.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we can look at it on our computer. Our ipconfig command has all kinds of things that it can do. I don't remember how to show the DNS cache, but when I'm working with a command line in Windows, if I add a /? at the end, it'll give me a little bit of a help system. So I wanted to see. There it is. It's display DNS resolves the contents of the DNS resolver cache. It's called resolving. When I ping google.com, my computer is resolving that to an IP address by talking to the DNS server. However, the first time I've gone there, I might talk to the DNS server, but the next time, I forgot what it was.
Display DNS.
Display DNS, thank you. That's going to display, oh, look at all those things that are temporarily living on my computer. And what, Zoom, google.com, stuff from Microsoft, my server, ads2.dpod.local is one of my servers in the room. So my computer remembers all these things, so it doesn't have to talk to a server, wait for the question. It has all that information cached in memory, so we can get that answer very quickly. So that's a DNS cache. That's mine. And boy, it's going on and on and on, isn't it? Ah, there we made it. So is this normal to have all this stuff in your DNS cache? Absolutely. You may see different ones on yours, but you may not. You might not see Zoom because you're not on Zoom, but you should see a bunch of records. Everybody find that? But you hope.
Yeah.
And this is normal operation. That way you don't have to talk to a server on the network and get the information back. You can retrieve it quickly from memory and get right to the website. So caching is used a lot in networks and computers to speed up operations on things that have recently been used. There's a lot of caching in various parts, and this is never going to start, is it? Let's refresh. Did yours start up, Pope?
No.
This is not a good sign. Let's try that again. I refresh the page and then I'm going to start it once more. See if we get lucky. All right, this time it loaded. I refreshed my website and this time it came up fairly quickly. Well, this is what we were just saying. So it says open the command prompt. So we go to start, and there's the command prompt right here. This is the start screen, apparently. And there we are. So we're going to do the same thing here that we just did on our computers. /all. I registered display DNS, sorry. You can see how often I use /all when I'm troubleshooting things. There. These are all made up answers because this is a simulation, but it's the same kind of stuff we were seeing earlier. Now, they're going to have us clear the cache. Why do you think you might want to clear the cache out? Because a cache operates by, if you don't use it for a while, after a certain amount of time, it gets expunged from memory. All caches work like that. Like your Google cache, your Google web browser has a cache on the hard drive of information that you've retrieved recently. So if I go to WNCC and then go to WNCC right away, I'm not retrieving it from the network, I'm retrieving it from my local computer. So there's caches all over the place. Why might you want to flush this? Why might you want to clear the cache on your browser?
You have too much recently looked up that you don't want to have on there.
No. Why is one of the first things somebody tells you to do on your browser to clear the cache? You know?
Or to improve speed.
Yeah, it could improve speed, but you've not had any trouble with MindTap? Okay, so one of the things with MindTap is the first thing I'll tell somebody is to clear your browser cache because things can get stuck. They can become corrupted. It's like refreshing the page, reloaded it. So it may be that I was loading it from the cache. And when I refresh, I said, try one more time, get it all from the beginning. I can tell you how many times I've actually had to flush the DNS cache because of an issue, but that'd be why you'd flush it. Is because of an issue, because it will take care of itself. All right, why isn't it letting me do anything? All right, mine just got stuck. What was I doing here? I wasn't doing anything. There it goes. Ah, there it is. So very rarely do you have to do that. The important thing about this lab is to know that there is such a thing. I've rarely ever had to do this. I just know it's there, that there is a DNS cache. And it's one of the troubleshooting steps you go through when something isn't working. And if we do display we can't cursor up with this thing. If we do display DNS again, ipconfig, normally your cache would have already filled up. Oh, see, this one did. But there's not as much. See, that is pretty normal. If you clear your cache on your regular computer, like if I do it here, which won't hurt anything. And then if I look at it, until I do some communication, which is always happening all the time, it doesn't take long for your cache to fill up. And there's just one right now. But as I do things, it's gonna start filling up again. But it does throw away stuff. Because it's in memory, every time you restart your computer, it gets thrown away for good. Browser cache is based on the hard drive. So that's why sometimes when you're troubleshooting your browser, I don't remember where it is, but there's a way to flush the cache. And if you don't know how to flush the cache, you would just look up Google flush web cache or whatever you want to call it. All right, well, I already did this. Oh, it says close the command prompt. That's why I wasn't letting me go. Click next. All right, where are the DNS address resolutions stored?
Host machine.
Next, I didn't talk about the service provider or router, and really where you get DNS resolutions is from a DNS server. And we were looking at the DNS cache on our local host machine, so that makes sense. Kind of a dumb question though. But when you're doing certification exams, you get dumb questions. This is excellent. Your PC's browser does not reach a website using the FQDN. Does anybody know what the FQDN is? What? You haven't Googled it already? FQDN is, you have to type in FQDN or it won't come up right. There it is. Fully qualified domain name. Well, that's not very helpful, is it? Let's see what a complete unambiguous domain name. Okay, well, that's helpful. Let's look at this little picture and see if that helps us. Oh, terrible picture, isn't it? Oh, we can see it. So a fully qualified domain name includes the protocol www.google.com/filepath. This is where we're actually going when we type in google.com. But when I type in google.com, it works, right? It doesn't fill in any of that stuff. Well, that's because the browser is smart enough to know that all that stuff should be in there. It's a very smart thing. It already knows that you're going to do all this. And it all knows that you're going here. So you just have to type it in because the browser already knows it. An example of a fully qualified domain name might be HTTPS. Oh, here's a lab I did with like cybersecurity. See how it has the protocol HTTPS, and that protocol is, you should know that. Hope. What does it mean? What's HTTPS mean if you see it on a web address, on a URL, Uniform Resource Locator? Secure means you have secure socket layers. This means the S means it's secure. So that's the protocol. HTTP stands for. It stands for what?
Unsecured.
No, HTTP. Yeah, well, it does. I mean, a hypertext transport protocol. S means it's secured. So www is the specific host. This is the domain, scilabs.com, and SSL test is the specific folder we're going to. So FQDN means the fully qualified domain name with everything in it. We just don't have to use it very often. All right, back to our lab. So if I can't get to a website using the web address, but I can get to that website using its IP address, where is the problem? What should I investigate first?
DNS.
Yep. Because an IP address needs no name resolution. This translates domain names to IP addresses, which is a number that computers can understand how to get to. Exactly. What choices provide translations of domain names to IP addresses? These are all legitimate protocols, but only one of them is correct for translating domains to IP addresses. What is this lab about?
DNS.
Yes, that's what it is, domain name service. It translates domain names to IP addresses like this ng.cengage.com. The DNS server translated that to an IP address so we could get there. Everywhere you go, there's a DNS server saying, oh, it's over here. And you go somewhere else, it's over here. Phone, doesn't matter what you're on. DNS is everywhere. DNS fails, you're getting nowhere fast. Or slow, either. All right, which choice indicates the first DNS cache used when attempting to reach a website? What? Oh, where does your computer look first for domain name resolution when it's attempting to reach a website? Might be a better way to ask it. Where does your computer look first?
Probably local.
Yeah, it looks local, and then it talks to the domain name server. So it does local first. Local, the closest cache to whatever you're doing is where the computer looks first, and then it starts going out. Just like with the processor, it goes to L1. Oh, not there. L2. Nope, not there. L3. Nope. In memory. Nope. Swap file. Nope. Hard drive. So there's a lot of layers for our CPU to retrieve information. With this, there's only a couple. What else? Oh, after clearing your local cache and browsing the web, what will happen to your local DNS cache?
A new cache is started.
Sounds good to me. It's either that or it's updated. This is not very clear answers, is it? Let's try that one. Uh-oh. 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 Ah, that's no fun. Anyway, if you click on it, there's the right answer. All of these.
It is updated.
Where are the DNS resolutions stored? Yeah, well, it is updated. Yeah, because I guess there's not a new cache. Well,
Okay.
now you know the right answers. That's a bit silly, isn't it? Huh. But that happens when you take certification tests too. Sometimes you're not exactly sure what they're asking.